Hello and welcome to another video. I hope that you're all very well. Today we'll be talking about anticipation. It's an area of the driving test that a lot of learner drivers fail on, unnecessarily, without a good reason. So, what is anticipation? Anticipation is trying to predict the actions of another person, another driver, pedestrian, etc. Now, it's not just a guessing game. We have to analyze the environment and use everything we've got. So, what can we use? Well, we've got road signs. So, if you see this red warning triangle, anything in a red warning triangle is a danger. It's something that we have to be aware of. So, for example, if you saw a roundabout in the red triangle, that would mean that we have to anticipate that a roundabout is approaching and we need to prepare ourselves. In the same way, we can use road markings as well. For example, if you saw the word slow on the road, it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to slow down. What it means is, as soon as you see the word slow, the first thing you want to do is check the rear view mirror. And then you need to ask yourself, why does it say slow? Look ahead and think carefully why it says slow. For example, does it say slow because there's a pedestrian crossing ahead? And if so, if the pedestrian crossing is clear, you don't have to slow down. Does it say slow because of the school? And if you're driving at 10 o'clock in the evening, then again, you don't have to slow down. So we can use road signs and we can use road markings to help us anticipate. So what should we be anticipating on the road? Firstly, we need to anticipate drivers. Drivers can be quite inconsiderate sometimes. So let's assume you've got a parked car here, and as you're approaching it, the parked car is going to move off. So what clues are there that the driver may move off? Well, firstly, the driver may signal. So as you're driving along, you need to be looking out for the signals. The brake lights may come on. The driver may be preparing himself to get ready and may press the brake. So even though the driver hasn't indicated to move off, the brake lights may come on. What other signals can you find from a driver? Well, you might look at the tires and you may see the tires moving towards the right. You may even see through the window that there's a person in the vehicle and the person's looking over their shoulder. Also, you may see the car starting to move off slowly towards the right. These are some of the clues that you could get that a driver is going to move off. When driving, we also need to be aware of pedestrians, especially that pedestrians are very vulnerable. So, what can you use to anticipate pedestrians? Well, firstly, you may get a sign saying pedestrian crossing ahead, and therefore we can anticipate pedestrians to be crossing the road. We may also get this sign, meaning pedestrians on the road, so there is no pavement, but you may get pedestrians walking along the side of the road. Let's assume we've got a pedestrian walking on the pavement. How can we anticipate that the pedestrian may cross the road? Well, the pedestrian may have a quick glance back, or you may see them walking closer and closer towards the edge of the pavement. We also need to anticipate cyclists. They can be quite difficult to anticipate sometimes, as you'll find them on the road as well as the pavement. Some cyclists will stop at red lights, whereas others will go through them. So the most important thing about cyclists is to give them plenty of room. Ideally, when overtaking a parked car, we leave a metre gap, a door length, just in case the driver opens their door. However, for a cyclist, ideally you want to leave 2 meters. Minimum 1 meter, but ideally 2 meters. The reason for that is just in case the cyclists fall over. So you're leaving 1 meter for the bicycle and another meter for the person. If you're only leaving the very minimum and the cyclist falls in front of you, you'll miss the bicycle, but you could run over the cyclist. So ideally 2 meters for cyclists. How can you predict what a cyclist is going to do? Well, they may look over their shoulder. If you're behind the cyclists and you see there's a parked car coming up, what do you expect the cyclist to do? Well, usually they'll overtake the parked car, which means that you may have to hold back. Occasionally, you may get some cyclists just going onto the pavement. So hold back until you know exactly what the cyclist is doing. Finally, we need to anticipate horse riders. Now, even though they look very big and tall, they are quite vulnerable. Horses are animals and they can easily get frightened by noise. So you want to avoid horning and you want to avoid revving up your engine. Ideally, you want to leave them as much room as you safely can and go past them slowly. Even if you have to go on the other side of the road, it's not a problem. Allow them as much space as possible, but go very, very slowly.
Oh, motorists, it's dangerous passing nervous beasts like us. Flapping canvas, brakes that squeal, a careless movement of the wheel. The noise and rush of all this speed may terrify the quietest steed. For faster travel I've been rejected. It wouldn't really feel dejected if men would sometimes feel remorse and spare a thought for me, the horse. To all our riders on the road, use signals of the highway code. Slow in advance and drive with care. Please don't cause a sudden scare. We ask your help. We ask your care. Go slow near horses everywhere. Flesh and blood like you we are. But we're outside, not in the car.
So there we have it. In order to pass your driving test and to drive safely afterwards without having accidents, we need to anticipate the actions of other drivers, pedestrians, cyclists, and horse riders. Well, I hope you found that video informative as well as entertaining. If so, as usual, please give us a thumbs up and do share the video. If you're a subscriber, I'd like to say thank you. If you're not a subscriber, then now is the time to do so. Thank you for watching.